I'm
Yes,
gonna
we
record
do.
on the computer.
Why
Okay.
is that? Why are two sets of my hands moving?
I don't know.
I don't know. I do see
Weird.
that.
What is going on, Mike?
Oh, this is so weird. Why? Is
Yo,
this
you're so
happening?
magical. Oh my goodness.
It's a
I'm
little
just magic.
creepy.
Is really what it is. I'm just fully an ethereal being.
You're an ethereal being.
Our food is getting cold, people.
Okay. Let's set it off.
Cold.
Irby, do you want to do your trademark countdown?
Okay, y'all ready?
Mm-hmm.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, I'm Sam.
Hi guys, I'm Irby.
And I'm Micah, and welcome once again to the Breathe Entertainment Podcast.
Yo, I'm still not over these hands, Michael. Like,
no, it's really weird, and I'm like kind of about it in a weird way. Like, I don't know. So anyway, today we are chatting it up about representation. Specifically for this podcast, we're talking about, because let's be real, representation could fill like 7 or 18 podcasts. So we're going to talk specifically today about colorism, gender identity, and plus size representation within the media. But we are also, because we promised in the last podcast, Creating in Quarantine, go listen to it, we promised to do a mukbang. So we are eating pasta. Guys, what are you eating? Be specific about your pastas.
Oh, go ahead, Irby.
No, go. We're both excited.
So excited to be mukbanging. I watch mukbangs, mukbang, whatever it is.
I think it's mukbang.
Mukbang. I watch them all the time. I watch them when I'm hungry. I watch them when I'm full, and I always end up leaving very full, as if I ate the meal myself. So I'm just so excited, and we all decided to do pasta. So I have a creamy Alfredo pasta, which is not so creamy anymore because I left it on the stove for too long. It's still gonna taste good. And I paired it with an Asian roll, veggie roll. Which is not pasta, but I was like, you know what, I'm in the mood for it. And wait for this. I don't really like it, but I'm drinking.
What is it? Is it sangria?
Micah's favorite, sangria.
Yes, sangria.
Yellowtail.
Yes.
I don't like the taste. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think red sangria is for me, but it's in my fridge. I finished my white wine, so we gonna get it popping, right?
Yes.
I love a good red sangria. A good white one's good too, honestly.
I'm trying to think.
Yes.
I need to find some wine or get something, because now I'm jealous of Sam.
I know, right? I'm like, let me get something. I don't even have any water with me.
Right.
Irby, what are you eating?
I have some chicken parmesan pasta, and I made this sauce, this tomato sauce. But like, I put some ippies for any of my Zoes, my Haitians out there. Y'all know ippies. Put that giant thing, and it makes everything taste good. Okay. And so I put that in there, and but not like, just make it healthy because it's parmesan, but whatever. But yeah, so I'm so excited.
Yay. I am eating, I tried making lasagna for the first time ever, so I'm having lasagna. It's really, really spicy. I put a lot of like peppers in it and shit like that, so I'm really excited to get into it.
And you ain't got water?
It's vegan.
No, I have no water. Listen, I live off of spicy food, so I should be fine.
Okay.
That's me like it's 10 minutes from now, choking to death.
Oh boy, no, please don't choke. But let the audience know it's vegan. It's vegan lasagna.
Yes, it is vegan lasagna. Also there is vegan chorizo in this lasagna. I had some like vegan
Chorizo.
chorizo, so I cut it up and I put it in this lasagna, and I think it's gonna taste real good. So
It sounds delicious.
Can we start eating?
Yeah, okay, we.
yes, can we honestly? Because I am starving.
Mm.
This is so cool.
Mm.
We're doing a mukbang. All right.
Mhm.
Before we start on our topic, y'all, let me hear a little bit of the ASMR because that's always my favorite.
Oh wait,
Can't really do
All
it
right,
with
hold on,
pasta
I got
though,
hold on,
right?
slurp it
hold on, I
up.
got you. Hold on, hold on.
Hold on, I got slurp. Mm. Mm.
That was obnoxiously good.
It tastes even better. Mm.
I
Michael, I don't hear you.
can't hear you, Micah.
You can't hear me?
No.
Let me,
You got
let
mad
me,
close, didn't you?
you,
I
let me see
did.
if
I
you
got
can hear
some
my
trouble.
crunch. Wait, you hear it?
Let me hear it.
Oh.
No.
I didn't hear the crunch.
Forget it.
It was the only one to do it.
It was sitting out too long. It was sitting out too long, and the crunch has disappeared. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Oh my god.
So this
All right.
just might be my favorite podcast yet.
Mine
So,
too,
No,
already.
honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so focused on eating right now. I'm not thinking about
We
even
got
saying
talk.
anything.
Yeah, we got talk. We got
Right.
to talk about the topic. We
yeah.
getting
So
All
distracted.
right, so let's get
representation.
started.
Oh man, I already dirtied my shirt,
Oh,
y'all. I
okay.
already
Already?
dirtied my
Aren't you
shirt.
wearing white?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yo, I was
why
thinking
are
about
both of y'all
wearing white.
wearing white, eating pasta?
Yeah. I don't know what we were thinking.
Mm-mm.
And mine has sauce and everything. So, child, pray for me. Pray for me.
I'm afraid. Okay.
Let's get
All
into
right,
it,
so
y'all.
let's get talking on representation. First up, let's do plus size representation.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, let's just be honest about it off the bat. It ain't enough for me, sis.
There's not much out there.
Me neither. It ain't enough. I forgot to look up her name. Besides Octavia Spencer, who's the most obvious, beautifully plus size actress there is out there. The actress from the show I like to watch, Good Girls, about three housewives who
Oh my goodness, I
get
love
into
her.
some. Yeah, her
I know
name is
some.
Ruby Hill.
I love
Yeah.
Ruby so much.
She's
She was on
plus
Parks and
size.
Rec also.
Yeah, she's hilarious.
She was on Parks and Rec. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So great.
She's real
Yeah,
plus
there
size
is.
representation. I like her. She got a big booty. She got a belly, and the camera shows all of it, which I love. I love to see it.
And what does the young lady from what's her name? From Orange is the New Black. She was in yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
She was in The Color Purple
Danielle.
on Broadway.
Oh, Danielle Brooks.
Danielle.
There we go, Danielle Brooks.
Danielle Brooks.
Danielle Brooks.
She is all about, like, she's so confident and sexy and just all about her body and her skin. I love it. She's dark skin representing, yes, everything. I love her.
Fits into the colorism theme there, but
Right.
yeah, she's plus size as well. But when I talk about plus size representation, because there's a difference, y'all. Plus size is now being accepted into the Hollywood community, or just being accepted, period. Everybody wants to be curvy nowadays. But within the plus size realm, there is a difference between curvy and big or fat.
Yeah.
Most of these women are curvy, you know? Ruby Hill is on the bigger side of the plus size, which I appreciate because, you know, although I've got my plus size curve, I'm a little bit more curvier than the curvy. I'm bigger.
Let me ask this. What sizes are considered plus size? Because, you know, when you look at certain well, yeah, go ahead, answer that, because just for the audience to know.
they consider plus size. Well, the average woman is considered plus size, which is a size 12.
Right.
Amy Schumer at one time got so offended for being considered plus size because she was like a size 10, almost 12, I think. And she got so offended for being considered plus size. But I believe actually in the modeling world, plus size is an 8, 10.
Right. Yes, that's what I was going to say. Because in fashion and in Hollywood for the most part too, plus size is considered like 8. But when a regular size is actually 12 or 10, plus size should be like more than like 14 or 18. Like that's when that's plus size. But you don't see that, on in these like these runways, with the models and in movies and TV shows. You don't see that representation often.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous.
And that's a problem. They need to start
absolutely.
representing the spectrum of plus size, because it's not just curvy, it's not just size 8, 10, 12 that's plus size, which is now what's acceptable. It's 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28. Oh my God, I forgot. What's her name on This Is Us? What's her name? She's
Oh,
good.
I cannot remember her name.
Chrissy Metz.
Chrissy Metz.
She's
You
amazing.
know?
Yeah, she really
plus
is.
size.
Thank God she got in the door and started giving us some real representation, because,
Right.
Unfortunately, her character called for it. If her character didn't call for it, she wouldn't have had the representation.
I
They
was just
probably
about to say that.
would not have looked at her twice.
Right. And she's so talented. But you know what I like? I was watching this movie called Breakthrough with her.
Oh, I didn't see
And that movie does not, it's good. She does a good job. It's very emotional, this Christian film. But the character does not call for a plus size woman. Ain't nothing about it that says in the script. I haven't read the script, but nothing about it in the story that talks about, oh, I'm big, oh, I want to lose weight, or I worry about my weight, or this and that. It's just a regular mom, struggling with, her son being ill, being in a coma. That's all it is. But you got this plus size woman, first of all, acting the hell out of it. Okay, she was the best thing in that movie. But to see that, like, it hit me as soon as I saw her on screen. I was like, wow, the fact that they gave her the opportunity to play such a great part, and it has nothing to do with how she looks. It's just all about pure talent. Just hit. We need more of that.
We do need more of that.
Absolutely. Honestly, what I think we need more of, I would love to just see like happy fat people, happy plus size people on screen. Right. I don't need another like story about a plus size person trying to lose weight to become like, socially acceptable. Because I personally identify with the word fat, and as a fat person, like, I love my body. I love my body. I love my curves. I love my belly. So I'm not trying to change any of that. So why would I want that imagery of like a bigger person wanting to like change their body in order to be like acceptable or beautiful doesn't resonate with me. Because bitch, I'm already beautiful. Guess what? Mission achieved. Okay, so now what?
Right.
Yeah.
So now what's my story?
So I'm a plus size woman, obviously, and I haven't had like an extreme amount of experiences so far in the industry, but I've had my share of experiences. And I've had some experience, because when I walk into the room, there's always that. That right there is the look of how can we fit? How can you fit in my script? How can I work with this? And then now my talent really has to speak for itself. And my talent usually does speak for itself, but they're still stuck on. And
Yeah.
I've gotten that a lot, and y'all know this. Like I've been acting since my early to mid 20s, and since then, because of my size, I've been landing roles that are much older than me, and I've always hated
Yep.
that. Always hated that. My first off Broadway play, I played a grandmother, and I was like 25. I'm sitting here
That
like,
don't make no
why am
damn
I
sense.
playing a
No
grandmother?
sense whatsoever.
Because
Have they seen your skin?
I mean,
Right? Does she look? There's
but
no
it's
wrinkles
Honey, you
anywhere
ain't
near.
nowhere
not
near
even.
grandmother.
But in theater, yes, it's about like face, but it's more about like body movement and
No, you're right.
body and appearance. You know what I'm saying? So my appearance was not giving them the young girl main character. It was giving them the old mother or the old grandmother.
Right.
I played an old grandmother or a mother, an older mother, probably like 4 times now. And the last film that I did, I was a mother, which was fine because I could be somebody's mama, not a teenager. Maybe. No. I can't be somebody's teenage mama. I'm
Yeah,
still
maybe
too
like
young. But
10.
I could have a 10-year-old kid by now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The last film that I did, my daughter was like 15, 16, 17. And it's all because of my
You're still older.
size. So
Yeah.
recently when I got offered to play a love interest, I was like, yeah!
And then the guy looked good.
Material. Bring
Right.
it. So I got really excited for that. And I spoke to the writer of the script, and I was like, honestly, like, thank you for seeing me as, seeing me as love interest. Thank you for that, and not putting me in that box of being the best friend or whatever. And he told me that he was inspired by Amber Riley, who's another lovely, beautiful, curvy woman.
Oh, I love her. I love her so much.
So much.
In that movie, Anybody's Fool with Tika Sumpter, Amber Riley was the best friend. She could have been the love interest. She got the talent to be somebody's love interest. But anyways, he said that once he saw Amber in that movie, he thought of me instantly. And I was like, that's so dope of you. Like, thank you. Because for you to see me as love interest material, I know I'm love interest material. Now you know I'm love interest material. We gonna let the world know that I am love interest material. And that's that of that.
Period.
That's that.
But
That's
yeah,
real
it's
life. First of
it's
all,
real
that's life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like people don't reflect real life, what's really going on out here. There's plus size women having relationships, having sex, like and feeling sexy, like stuff like that happens. So to not see that reflected on in films or on TV is unrealistic. It's
Honestly,
ridiculous.
it's completely ridiculous. But that's so often in like film and theater where people get kind of reduced down to this one attribute if they aren't the quote unquote standard. You know what I mean? Which is just absolutely ridiculous because no one is just one thing. Absolutely no one is just one thing. You know what I mean? So to reduce somebody's experience, even your fictional character's experience, to just being one thing is doing a disservice to not only your writing, but also like the experience of your audience. Because now your audience walk away with the interpretation that like, oh, that person wanted to be slimmer. That must be the goal for all big people. And that's absolutely not the case.
Exactly.
And just like there are just like there are some white people who don't have any black friends and all they see are black people in films and how they're portrayed. Some people don't have any plus size friends or family members or whatever. And so
Crazy.
when it comes down,
That is
some
crazy.
people don't. You know, I'm thinking, I'm like, there's some people I know probably who don't know anybody like that. So what they
It's
see is what is on the screen that's been represented all these years, which is a false, you know, narrative in many ways. So they just think, oh, all plus size people want to lose weight. You know, they always worry about that. Oh, they're not confident. You know, it's ridiculous. But that's what it is, like a ripple effect. You know.
it's more
Absolutely. And
believable for me to think that there are people who don't have Black people in their lives over people who
Definitely.
don't have a fat person in their life. Like, this world is full of fat people. We all know a fat person who we love near and dear. You know, that's a Big Mama. I like, even though I never heard of the term Big Mama before the movie, but that's Big Mama. Yo, if somebody ever call me Big Mama, I'm going off. I am going off. The world, you need to
smack
know.
a bitch.
But you know, we all know someone who is plus size that is near and dear to our hearts. So it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe.
I feel like that's part of, or either that, or they just like the people who are telling these stories, because being behind the table, you know, is different from, you know, when you're actually coming in auditioning. But if you're the person hosting the auditions and whatnot, like, I know what I'm looking for, right? So it doesn't matter if you're plus size, depending on the role. It doesn't matter if you're plus size or whatever. Wherever you look, like, talent is what's important. But I feel like there's people who are in the behind the table who just don't think about it. You know, they
Yeah.
don't think that way because they probably haven't seen it, or even if they do know people who are plus size, like they have a plus size auntie or something, they still consider them, oh, well, she must not be happy with her weight. You know, they never
Yeah.
had that real conversation to
Yeah.
really figure out exactly how they feel, or their auntie's experience, or whatever other people's, because, you know, fat kids get laughed at in school and bullied. Like that still happens. You know, I have a little cousin who is bigger, who gets bullied because of his weight. So like, I feel like there are people who just don't, they haven't had the experience, you know, with somebody, like a real legit experience, heart to heart kind of stuff, with somebody who is plus size, because that's the only way you're gonna know what plus size people want. You
Yep.
know, how they want to be represented. You can just guess if you never had that conversation.
Very true.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're gonna move to a different topic. Also, I finished my lasagna. It was fire.
Mm.
Any other
Literally?
comments about plus size
Wait.
representation before we move
It
on?
was literally fire? Because you said it had a lot of spices, or
It was
good
literally,
fire.
physically, metaphorically, emotionally, spiritually, ethnically fire.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
fire. It was heat, and I loved it. And I'm gonna go have some more as soon as we're done with this podcast. In fact, I'm gonna go get some more right now. I'll be right back.
Go ahead. Go
No, I'm
ahead.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Irby's frozen. So while you go get some more, Irby will be unfrozen.
Oh my lord, Irby. I actually don't want any more. I'm actually
Let
quite
it
full.
go.
But I'm gonna go grab some water while Irby is frozen.
Let it go. The way you just So you guys, I could have a show all by myself, like for real. This whole plus size thing, I'm telling y'all, the industry needs more of us. The industry needs more of me. Period. You know? Because, like, plus size women are so much more than being fat. Plus size women are so much more than, like we were saying, having a desire to lose weight. Like, we want to be loved too. We can be loved. We could do all the things that the skinny women can do on the TV screen, even having a love scene. Oh, Gabby Cedarby. Sita Bay is another beautifully plus size woman in the industry.
Don't fuck up. Hey y'all.
I was talking about Gabby Sita Bay, who's another beautiful plus size woman in the industry.
Oh, she absolutely is. Oh, and can we talk about talent? Because that is like, she has some serious talent and range.
Oh yeah, she does. Oh yeah,
I feel like I absolutely love her in literally everything she does. Like literally everything.
Yo, plus size women are it. We are starting to come onto the scene, honey. We are making noise. We are doing the damn thing.
Absolutely. Plus size women in particularly get like such a terrible rap. But I'm happy to see that like more plus size representation for women specifically is happening out there, and it's real, and it's like, it's so great to see like so many amazing, talented people finally get the recognition and respect that they deserve.
Yeah. Hi.
Welcome back.
Hi.
We're done now.
Yo, my phone literally like shut me.
Oh goodness.
You like
My phone
this
shut down.
technology is so disrespectful when we out here trying to be great. Like I just don't get it.
No, literally always. It's always whenever we're like on Zoom with each other where like we have issues. If I'm like in a work meeting, in like a day job meeting, I never have issues, and I'm upset
Everything's
about
fine.
it. It's always fine and dandy, and I'm always like, okay, phone, when you gonna cut out? When's the Wi-Fi gonna
kill
get
my
on?
joy.
During my remote learning, my remote teaching, I should say, time, I stayed trying having a Zoom connection error. On all my sessions, I never had an error. And now.
Never.
Oh, so frustrating.
But the one time you actually enjoying yourself on Zoom. Oop, error.
Right.
Issue.
Right.
Sorry, we're too busy supporting the police in your area to support this Zoom call.
Seriously. All right, next topic, right? What were we gonna talk about?
Yes, so we're moving to the next topic, which is gender representation within the media. So I'm gonna say, yet again, it ain't enough for me, sis. I literally do not know. I think there's maybe like 2 or 3 characters in like recent television that identify as non-binary. But like literally I've never seen a character that looks like me that is portrayed as non-binary. And this also goes into the plus size representation. I've never seen a plus size non-binary person on television, ever.
Honey, Hollywood is gonna have to take small, tiny steps. First, you'll see the non-binary characters. Then maybe in 10 years, you'll see the plus size non-binary characters. Like, you're just gonna have to give them some time.
That ain't enough for me. I don't got the time, so I'm gonna make my own shit.
Yes, make your own shit. Exactly. I feel like it might take a while if you wait. If people wait for the change to come, it's gonna take a while because especially with the non-binary, like how they just not figuring that out. They're just not finding out about this, that this stuff exists. And y'all already know how there's a lot of older people, older generations still out there running Hollywood. So we gotta just create it ourselves and just push.
Honestly, there's too many
and eventually it will be
men
mainstream.
in the room.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Y'all, we did this mukbang so not the right way.
I didn't think we did, because I definitely
finished right. Next time.
quick.
We should do an episode just like a short little thing just for the food.
Yes,
next time. Just for the food.
Our food is supposed to be like here, right? Our audience is supposed to be able to see our food. Ain't nobody.
This was to see it while eating.
Okay, so then we'll have to just do like a separate mukbang.
Michael, you change
I want my food like this.
the word every time you say it. First you say
Because I don't know
mukbang,
the
then
proper
you say mukbang,
pronunciation.
now you say mukbang.
I don't know the proper pronunciation. I'm trying my best. If anyone who knows Korean or is Korean wants to correct me, I welcome the correction. Please let me know because I am struggling. Clearly.
All right, so this went from, I guess we did like a little ghetto version of a mukbang. You know, we ate. We didn't
Very
eat a
ghetto.
lot of food.
So good. We didn't eat. We just went to while filming. Like we didn't even think about.
Honestly, we were like, oh, it'd be so cute to have dinner while also filming. And then we just ate all our food and we're like, okay, now I guess we're still filming. So
We're supposed to have like a table of food, like
yes,
you know,
a
the
table full
pasta
of food.
here, the side dish
That's
here,
too
the other
much.
side dish here, the big ass drink here. You know,
I'm not gonna eat all that.
we
That's too
failed.
much.
No,
I'm not
you
gonna eat all that. I
did.
can't
That's
do
the
that.
whole point of a mukbang. And y'all know, yeah, I couldn't eat all that neither, so I would have been failed. But I'm just saying, we didn't do it right.
We'll have to try again soon. But anyway, back to the topic. I mean, honestly, have either of you seen non-binary people on television before?
No,
At
never,
all?
never.
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah, I have. Billions. Is that character? I think that character is non-binary. I forgot the name of the character though. They're also a non-binary actor.
I mean, that's beautiful.
That's the only. Yeah, and it's a good show and it's a great character.
Billions?
I'm trying to remember.
That's a fairly
Billions,
recent show,
yeah, on
isn't it?
Showtime. Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, I think it's like the third season or something. But yeah, it's a pretty good show, and it has this one of the main characters I believe identifies as non-binary. And yeah, they're badass. They're badass. So I can't think of another show. Euphoria doesn't really state, you know,
Euphoria
character
doesn't have any
sexuality like that.
non-binary
How they
characters.
identify.
So.
Yeah, I don't think Euphoria says. Oh yeah, it doesn't.
I know a show that has non-binary
That's the only
characters,
show.
though.
What show you know in non-binary characters?
Dumpsterland.
You're right.
It's currently being written,
So
folks. It's not out yet.
speaking of writing shit by ourselves, we've been writing quite a few shows and shorts.
I'm choking on this wine.
Choking.
Are you choking?
I was choking on the wine. Sorry.
If you hate sangria that much, Sam, you don't have to drink it.
Honey, I'm drinking it because I want to.
Okay.
Also, I don't want to be wasteful.
Uh-huh.
It's gotta be finished sometime.
That's true. It's gotta go. But yeah, no. Speaking of that, honestly, Dumpsterland is a non-binary led show. The main character is non-binary and will be played by myself. Because I don't see people like me on TV.
Yes.
I really feel like it's going to be really important for some other fat, black, non-binary kids to see someone that looks like them on TV.
Absolutely. What has your experience been while writing?
Honestly, it's been lovely. It's been lovely to just kind of like dive into this person's story, you know what I mean? And it's never like something that we constantly have to like think about or something that we're like, oh, we need to like make sure that Rue's super duper non-binary and that everything they do says like, I'm non-binary, bitch. Like it's just a part of who they are, that they're like accepting and exploring and just living life as a person who is also non-binary.
Right.
Which I think is great.
Would you ever be interested though in writing a story of someone who is becoming a non-binary in the sense of finding themselves? because you
Yeah.
eventually will, probably want to write your journey, and
Yeah.
you weren't born non-binary. You just decided, like, listen, I'm more comfortable this way. So wouldn't you want to portray that?
Well, I actually was born non-binary. My entire life, I've never felt comfortable with like male pronouns or being associated with being male, but I never had the terminology prior to express that because I didn't want to save that. And then because people automatically assume you're not happy with being male, then you obviously want to be
Female.
female.
Mm-hmm.
You obviously want to be a woman if you don't want to be a man, and vice versa. And that wasn't my experience. I grew up thinking, okay, like I don't like being referred to as a man. I'm not a man, but I'm also not a woman. So I don't know what to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until I was 16 that I had the actual terminology written in front of me to see like what genderqueer and non-binary meant for me to be like, oh yeah, that's me. I identify with that. My dogs just broke into this room.
Yay! Love your dog.
Hold
We're
on,
gonna make a lot of
Skylar, do you want to say hi? Do you want to say hi?
Skylar!
Hi,
Hi,
Skylar.
Skylar. Skylar. Oh.
They love you, Skylar. I gotta do my podcast.
Skylar wants a kiss.
Do you let your dog lick you and kiss you on your lips?
Like on my mouth?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I let them lick me, but not in my mouth.
Okay. Just
No,
one.
that's
That's
no. No.
There's plenty of people who do that.
I'm sure there is, and more power to them.
Not a W.
But I just that's
no
not my team.
judgment.
Say
No,
these.
Just not, just not for us.
Go.
Hi, Skylar.
I probably would have judged Micah if they said they did.
I know.
I'm never eating from you again.
I would judge too, low key. I would. I would do. I would be so disgusted.
You know it. Because Haitians, we don't do stuff like that. You must reconcile. Like, we like.
Nah. I had this dog lick me one time, and I just could not. I threw up. I could not deal with it. I did.
Okay, well that's kind of dramatic.
I did. I was I was a kid. I was a kid though. But yeah, it was.
It's understandable, Micah.
I love dogs.
I don't know, maybe because like maybe I've always had a dog my entire life, but like if they lick me in my mouth, I'm not gonna like vomit, but it's something that I try to like keep them away from doing. I don't like that being a habit. But I'm not gonna like vomit.
I feel like if it was my dog, I probably wouldn't have, but it was a stranger's dog. Well, not a stranger, like a friend of a friend's dog. So like I didn't feel comfortable, and I was a kid, so like that shit. Did
So
not
you
sit
threw
right.
it up.
I did not like projectile vomited or anything like that. Not that dramatic, but like something came up. Let's not talk about this. We're going too much into detail. Let's go on. Let's continue the conversation.
Okay, so where were we before my dogs broke in here?
Okay, so you were talking about how working on Dumpsterland and telling your own story and how you came to the realization and acceptance of who you are and finding the vocabulary for it.
Gotcha. So yeah, I found that vocabulary when I was 16, and I remember this particular moment of looking at myself in the mirror when I was 16 and just being like, I'm genderqueer, and not knowing what else to do with that information. Because who do I tell? Who understands that? Do I even fully understand that yet? Who the fuck knows? So I kept it to myself for a very, very long time. And then eventually gained more knowledge, did more research on my own, and just became a huge like gender and sexuality nerd. I swear if I wasn't like acting, writing, producing, yada, 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 performance, industry, whatever, I would definitely want to be a gender and sexuality therapist.
Mm.
For specifically colored kids, because ain't nobody that fast.
Yes.
You want to do that, or you're saying if you weren't an artist, you would do that? Because
if I wasn't an artist, I'd probably be doing that. That is what
you should do that though. Like there's still room for that.
No, there's absolutely room for that. But I know that that's not my ministry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not in this lifetime. Maybe in the next though. But no, in this lifetime, my ministry is to serve through my art. So
yeah,
that is what I plan on doing.
You can also take that and go into some philanthropic work when when the time comes and you're able to. You have the finances and all that stuff to be able to help foundations, organizations,
Absolutely.
that serve to people who are going through the same thing.
Well, that's absolutely the plan. Sam, what do you not understand about that?
Oh, the next life. Like you've got one life, do it. Do everything you want to do. Do everything you desire to do. Do it all.
I agree with you. And on some level I do desire to continue my education within gender and sexuality, which is something that I take upon myself to do with all of my time essentially. But I know that my ministry is to serve through my art, which is what I'm predominantly focused on in this life. Now, honestly, it just so happens that I get another one, maybe I'll focus on being a therapist.
Honestly, you can help a lot more people, I think, through your art. Because especially what we're doing through film and television and theater, the mass, like it's a huge population that watches these things. So like some kid in South Korea or Zimbabwe who watches your stuff, who is going through the same thing, who doesn't have the vocabulary, who doesn't have anybody to talk to about it, sees it, and it helps them in their journey. Something that you probably wouldn't have been able to do as just a therapist in Chicago or New York. So
which is why I'm super excited about Dumpsterland and a few other projects that we're working on where I actively am portraying a non-binary person. And I'm excited to create more content that features other less, I don't want to say lesser known, but less like represented. Represented. Duh. I'm excited to create other content that features other less represented groups of people. Because I think that's incredibly important for people to see us and to understand that we exist.
Yes. And
so is it fair to say that you will never play a male role again? Because in the past you've only gotten those type of roles.
That's very true.
I'd like for you to talk about how, obviously you don't like it. Just let the audience know your experience.
I didn't hear anything you said, child.
I didn't either.
I just like you to talk about.
You're rubbing something down.
I said. What am I doing right now?
You're rubbing on your knee.
Nope, the table. But how did you know I was?
I thought the table was gonna be too obvious. I said
that motion. You can kind of see the motion.
What about right now?
Girl, I don't know. You're not doing nothing.
Oh yeah, I was still rubbing the table. But anyways, I was saying that that was your experience in the past. So why don't you talk about your experience in the past? Because you desire to write non-binary roles and play non-binary roles. So talk about your past experiences, please.
Yeah, of course. So like in the past, as you stated, I was literally only given the opportunity to portray male characters. because there are no non-binary characters. Un. And dos, I look to a person who doesn't, think about other people and their feelings and like their identities and how they express themselves and how they see the world differently and how open the world actually is. People look at me and they assume that I am male. So it's very easy for people to look at me and be like, oh, okay, you want to be an actor. Here is a boy role. Here you go. Here's a nice boy role for you. Enjoy that. And again, I didn't have the terminology to vocalize, one, why I wasn't comfortable, but two, why I didn't want to. But three, I also did want to because I wanted to act. So it's a very weird balance, I guess you would say. It's like if there are, it's like I know I want to act, and if there are no roles that reflect who I actually am, then I guess I should stick with the roles that I'm being given and be thankful for the roles that I'm being given because I don't have any other opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I was for quite some time. I was very thankful. A lot of times, genuinely excited about a lot of the roles that I was given. But the more that I was cast in male roles, and the more I started to open up about myself and explore more of myself and understand more of what I want in this world and in this reality, I just realized that that wasn't the tea for me. I don't really want to portray male characters specifically. Well, honestly, I don't want to portray male characters right now because I feel like there's such an underrepresentation for non-binary people that's what I want to focus my energy towards. If there is specifically a super amazing, well-rounded male character in the future, I can't speak for myself in the future. I might want to do that, but I don't know. And as of right now, that's not something that I want to do. But I don't know. I can't speak for myself in the future. Um, it's just hard because it's like you want to work, but like you want to be represented.
Yeah.
It's hard. I feel like it's the same. It's not the same.
It's the same as plus size.
But
It's not the same, but it's very
but
similar to plus size.
it's essentially the same thing as like, it's like, okay, well, no other choices are being given to me but to play a mom character. So I guess I should be thankful for playing a mom character.
Yeah. Whatever
exactly. But in reality, that's not the actual reality. It's like there are people, yes, you can be thankful for playing whatever character that's an opportunity for you, and that's amazing. But there's also room for not only Hollywood, not only Broadway to grow and develop, but also you to grow and develop. I'm personally taking the route of like, I'm not auditioning for shit right now. I'm making my own shit because I know that the auditions that I would get will reflect me and won't reflect my ministry and what I want to do with my life. So I'm making my own shit.
The fact of the matter is, I know it's not our reality now anymore because we took the initiative to decide that it is not going to be our reality. Like I decided that I'm no longer going to play, a role that makes me uncomfortable playing, being somebody's grandmother or someone's old mother, because I see myself better than that. I see myself, at a higher level than that just because of who I am and also what I'm bringing to the table. But the reality of Hollywood is that Hollywood is not there yet. And, giving thanks to Hollywood kind of being halted right now due to the pandemic, there's a lot of reconstructing that is going to have to happen. And, these identity roles are going to have to be given a second look. And, back in the day, people weren't afforded, having a plus size character. People weren't afforded having a non-binary character because people had, skinny white women and good-looking white males, to play a typical role. And then we ventured into getting more Black women into these roles. And so now we're opening up the doors to have, you know, the LGBTQ plus IA plus community. You know, so the door is being expanded. The door is being expanded more and more, which is a great thing. But also, you know, new up and coming artists have the opportunity to write themselves how they see themselves, which was not something that was taken seriously 5 or 10 years ago. Right. Now, it most definitely will be. And I think we're in the right time to start getting these changes that we want to see. We can be the change that we want to see, and I think it's a great thing. So yeah, I agree with you in the sense that it is not our reality, but you know, we still got hills to overcome.
Absolutely. And I think what's going to be so beautiful is that all of these hills that we and that other people like us are overcoming is just going to make it that much easier for the people coming after us to be able to like just be like, okay,
next generation.
People like Micah made it possible for Black, fat, non-binary people to be on television. So now my Black, fat, non-binary ass can go to an audition for a fat, Black, non-binary character and feel properly represented. Sam made it possible for plus size people to not just be looked at as the mom or the best friend. So, hey, my plus size ass can go into an audition and be the love interest and be this and be that and be just a person and explore different facets of humanity that don't particularly divulge themselves in this one specific area of my existence.
Yep.
In a negative light.
What advice do you have for people, excuse me, for people who are just trying to find the confidence and self-assurance that you two have found? You know, what's your tips?
I would like for us each to answer that question after we discuss the colors topic, because I think that's a question that all of us can answer.
I agree.
Okay. Yeah.
Save that question. Hold it.
Okay, right. I gotta write it down. Oh,
write it down. Type it up.
I gotta remember too. I'm holding y'all accountable.
Put it in your
put your index finger up and hold it right in your finger. Hold it right in your finger.
Right here?
Yep, right there in your finger.
Okay, I'm holding it. Look at my finger.
I can do that.
Oh, yay!
So wait, oh God, Micah. Oh God, I can't do my fingers.
You can do all your fingers?
That is so scary. Oh my God. I can only do the one finger out of all 10 fingers. Oh God.
With my 20 fingers in the screen right now.
Oh my God.
Okay, so let's move on to the next topic, which is colorism. I'm gonna say it again. That ain't enough for me, sis. All right, y'all go ahead.
Yeah, no, definitely not enough. I mean, it's getting better. More so than I can say for plus size representation, and definitely for gender representation. It's definitely getting better. Like I was watching the new trailer for Daniel Kaluuya's film.
Yes.
But Daniel Kaluuya is somebody that he is fine. He is, and he's so talented. But like actors like that, Viola, you know, these people are paving ways, and there's been actors throughout the years before them, but it's still not enough. And the other thing too is even the actors who are getting roles and making money in Hollywood, what are they playing usually? Thugs, you know, drug dealers, abusive husbands, you know, things like that. That's very prejudice. Not for lack of a better word, I can't think of the word. But like it's very stereotypical.
Stereotypical, systemically oppressive.
Oppressive.
Shitty.
Yeah, oppressive. That's the word I was looking for. Oppressive. But yeah, there's a lot more that needs to be done for sure.
The problem with colorism surpasses Hollywood. It's a human issue. All right. people have problems with darker skin, all right? And it's an innate issue, all right? It's a self-esteem insecure issue that people now tend to project onto others, onto the world. So, you know, we could talk about the little bubble of colorism in Hollywood, but then there's a much bigger
Mm-hmm.
dangerous bubble in the world of colorism. Okay, because you were talking about third world countries hating
Yeah.
themselves because they're darker skin and they're bleaching their skin to fit the European, you know,
Standards
the
of beauty.
European standard of beauty. You know, it's
Terrifying.
I personally see more. Well, I'm starting to see, like you said, more representation of darker skinned people in movies and TV shows that we didn't used to see back in the day. But honey, people, the average person still prefers a lighter skinned person, or the European look, which is
So like in order, I mean, with
hmm,
all these issues, really, in order for true change, like real big major change to happen within the small bubble that is Hollywood, there needs to be a bigger change that happens in the society and cultures, throughout the
Worldwide.
world, worldwide. Um, so yeah, like it's a monster of an issue. All these problems, and you're absolutely right. Like there's people that are bleaching their skin all the time,
Yeah.
and companies making money off of it and thriving. Um,
And
so yeah.
for a quick second, can we talk about how ugly colorism is? Because like honestly, there are so like dark skinned people have like so many amazing features. One being like melanated skin that is just like pigmented
Ooh,
for the
next to
fucking
light.
god.
Next
But
to
also they're like I feel like
look
dark skinned people
good.
are just so fucking beautiful. It really pisses me off that like what
that
did you
darker
just do?
hair
What
buried
did
in
you do?
sweeter than juice.
Yes. Um, but no, it really pisses me off, and it's really stupid, honestly. Like, what do you really have against like darker skinned people? They can be out in the sun longer.
Right. I mean, let's be honest,
Like
okay?
genuinely, at what is your problem with someone being a different skin tone than you? With someone being a darker skin tone than you? What is the problem?
I think people just are just like you said, there's insecurities that come
Yeah.
with that, and just it's racism and all that good stuff too. Like all that plays, yeah, fact. Like it's people who are just too scared to face themselves, whatever issues they may be going through or whatever. But like they rather feel empowered, like by belittling other people. And the best way to do that throughout centuries is through colorism and racism and that kind of prejudice. It's disgusting.
That's
And
so
I'm
ugly,
I'm
though.
trying my hardest to like make sense of it. Like even while talking to you, I'm like, why? What's
No,
the
because
answer to that?
genuinely, I understand that racism and systemic oppression exist and are the core principles when you discuss colorism. But like genuinely, from like a person to person perspective, if I were to talk to somebody and be like, why do you hate somebody in regards because their skin is darker than yours? Not for any other of the shit like, oh, I hate black people because blah 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 blah. Okay, you hate black people. Why do you hate specifically people with darker skin than you?
Mm,
What
mm,
is the reason?
mm.
Aside from any stereotype that you've heard, aside from any negative connotation that you have placed
There's
onto
nothing.
black people or whatever, what genuinely can you
I feel
tell
like
me that you dislike about darker skinned people?
I feel
There's
like Jane
nothing.
Elliott answered the question, and I don't remember what she said because she is somebody that breaks that shit down real good.
You sure do. She's a
Um,
legend.
but yo, it's genetic.
Yeah.
It's absolutely
It's
genetic.
passed down. People don't
Yeah.
have I really don't think there is a real answer to that other than what
No,
people have
there
been
isn't.
passed down and have learned, have been conditioned to believe. White like evil, that kind of stuff. Like, it doesn't make sense when you really go to the core of it. Like, why does it exist? Why is it there? Even within our own communities, as Black people, that junk is real. It's very much real. You have no idea how many times, when I was trying to be straight and whatnot, going after girls, you have no idea how many times I would have girls tell me, like this one girl told me, oh, if you were lighter skinned, I would probably date you.
Damn.
Or I asked another girl, what would you rate me? Out of 1 to 10. She said 5 because you're just okay. But my friend who's lighter skinned and who I thought I looked better than, she picked him and gave him like an 8 or something higher, way higher because of light skin. And there's auditions. I've gone to auditions, not very few, not very much, like very few of them were, very kind and considerate. But I've heard, people say I'm too dark, or I'm not. Even though I'm dark, I've heard people say I'm not Black enough. I've gotten that too. So I've heard a lot. Not more than a lot of other people though. When I share stories and hear stories that other people share with me, it's ridiculous the things that people go through because of just.
Can I just say for anybody who's not watching our YouTube video right now, Irby is hella sexy.
Show is.
Irby is so mother effing sexy.
Thank you.
Like, for real.
I'm so hot, I gotta cool down.
You're just so beautiful to look at. So beautiful to look at.
Yes.
No, I'm being serious. I don't guess. I think y'all know that by now. Like no.
I can't.
I got the babas. I got the babas.
Their 4 hands. Micah and their 4 hands.
My 4 hands.
I hope y'all watch the video, y'all. Go on YouTube and watch this video so you can see what we're talking about.
But no, like that's what I'm saying. Like Irby, you mad sexy as hell.
But
and the fact that like people will bypass you or ignore you because your skin is darker is ugly.
But it's the truth. Irby is one of the millions of people that struggle with that. Yeah. And myself included, like niggas just hate.
Yeah, motherfuckers hate.
This ain't nothing else.
And honestly, we even get it from like our own community. There's so much ingrained colorism everywhere, and it's so fucking shitty. It's so fucking shitty to have family members like be excited because a child is lighter skinned or be disappointed because a child is darker skinned. Call the lighter skinned one beautiful, call the darker skinned one whatever. It's disgusting. It's truly disgusting.
I've got somebody say this to me too. Somebody called me a slave. One of my one of my managers. I'm not gonna say what job, but a manager from this job. It was a long day, okay, and I was tired and I hated the job. But she came up to me and said, "Irby, why are you looking like a whole slave?"
Oh my God, was she a white woman?
She wasn't white. She was Hispanic, very light skinned.
But still.
Yeah, and we can talk about Hispanics and the colorism within that community too, which I have experienced. But and then I asked her because people could be joking. I'm not that close to you, so that should not be a joke. That's not a joke. But I asked her. Oh, I pretend as if I didn't hear. I was like, "What'd you say?" She was like, "Oh, nothing."
Mm-hmm.
If it was truly nothing, she would have repeated it. But she knew what she said, and I caught it. I just wanted to make sure she knew that I knew what she said. So that's stuff that's in fashion and in film, television. It's still very much. There's not enough people in the room that look like us. Remember the H&M shirt, with the guy,
little monkey.
And
oh my Lord,
the noose. Was it H&M or I think it was like Gucci or somebody had a noose Like it was just ridiculous. But there's not enough people in the room to talk about that. So tell them no, that's not good. Don't do that.
Or when there is
Shout
somebody,
out.
when they're afraid to lose their job against all them white people. Because they're
Yeah.
the one token black person in the room. So they're looking at everybody like, I ain't gonna say nothing.
Right.
Honey, I tell you right now, I will say something. And I'm gonna be
We need
like,
more people like that.
don't disrespect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's the shitty thing is that so many of these companies celebrate themselves for being inclusive and creating a workspace that openly accepts diversity and inclusion. But honestly, that, I'm gonna say it again, it ain't enough for me. Because one, it's disingenuous. And two, if we're talking about diversity and inclusion, we also have to talk about equity.
Yes.
Because it's
Talk
not,
about
it's not
equity.
enough to just be like, oh, well, let's look at these people and be like, okay, this one's black, this one's black, this one's black, this one's white, this one's white, this one's white. Okay, so let's hire one black person for every 2 white people. That's bullshit. That's complete and utter bullshit.
Right. No, that's not enough. We definitely need more people who are in power, who have control, who look like
Exactly.
us,
Exactly.
and are
It
making
all starts
money.
from the top.
But I also
Exactly.
feel like there's innate biasness and it'll never be succeeded
Oh, absolutely.
as such to to go against the normal grain because there's innate biasness. Like even though the black person is obviously a better candidate than the counterpart who might be white or Spanish, Asian, whatever. Innately in their mind, they're still gonna be like, something's wrong with that black person because this person has something more to offer. So I'm gonna go here because of my past experiences over here or what I've heard about such and such over here. You know what I'm saying? Like there's still that mind thing. It's a mental barrier that we really have to break down.
It really
And
is.
I mean,
I don't know how that's gonna happen.
Yeah, realistically, it is 100% a internal bias thing. I mean, if we're gonna be real about it, let's be real about it. Like, white people especially look at people that look like them and can see themselves in that person.
Yeah.
So they immediately identify with the idea of like, I can take this person under my wing. I can teach them because I can show them what it's like, and then they can become me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get that. When I hear that, like, it makes me so upset. But it's very true.
Honestly, everyone has inherent biases.
Yes.
If we're being real about it. Everyone has them. But the important thing is to sit down with yourself, check yourself,
right,
and be like, what is the reason why I'm favoring this candidate over this one? What is the reason why I want to see this type of person in this audition as opposed to this one, even though the character description does not call for anything specific? What is the reason behind my reasoning?
Right. Not enough people do that. And that's scary for some people to sit down with themselves and to really be real. And we need more people like that. I think that's the only way, what Sam was saying, that's the only way things will change. More people actually listen to podcasts like this, and educate themselves and and do the work within.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, it's not like the job of the darker skinned person, the plus size person, the gender non-conforming, non-binary person to educate you on these things. You have Google, you can educate yourself, you can understand that people are people and that everyone's experiences are different and unique, and that your writing could reflect that, and that your casting could reflect that, and that the people that you choose to be in the room as producers, as EPs, as directors could reflect that.
Yes. Yeah. And people who don't feel as if that's being reflected, writers, actors, like, write your own stuff. Make it.
Write your own stuff. Find some friends who are into diversity, inclusion, and equity. And people who want to reflect those things within their stories that they're creating. and see if you can be in shit.
I'm watching these iPhone 11 Pro videos on YouTube this morning, and they were just, I mean, they were made by professional people, but like the material and the actual equipment can be used by anybody, and you get some good stuff. Okay, so it still look professional and good, so that you can tell your own stories at home. Grab your phone and do it.
I feel like you guys are starting to answer the question Irby was asking. So you want to go back to that question?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's go ahead.
Yes. So what do you have to say to a young, Samantha, a young Micah, out there who's listening, a young Irby, who's listening, who needs advice in regards to how they can truly love themselves for who they are?
I would say to a young Micah, that shit is gonna be hard. That it's not always gonna be fun, and that you're often gonna be ostracized because you are so different from other people, that you're not gonna want to talk to them. They're not gonna want to talk to you. But the important thing is to realize that you are the way that you are because God made you just the perfect type of way.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
And bitch, you fine as hell. So know that. Recognize that you fine as hell. They jealous. They ugly. Move on about your day. Move on about your life. Because honestly, you ain't gonna see none of them niggas again in the future.
You
ain't gonna see none of them niggas.
Micah got
them niggas.
Such a beautiful statement with pettiness. Like, why?
Micah went so ghetto, like the beat ghetto.
Honestly, it's a balance. Life is about a balance, Sam. You gotta. Every beautiful statement has to be paired with something petty. It's about balance.
That's life.
It's about equity.
Lord help us. I was reading an article about life regrets of a terminally ill cancer patient, and one of the answers that stuck out to me was the person regretting not being able to live their life to its fullest. And I see myself as such because I let society try to dictate who I am. I often put my self-worth on society's opinions or standards of who I should be. And as a full-blown grown adult now, I regret that because I feel like I missed out on a lot of life, letting society dictate who I should be, and thinking that for myself. So, I want to say to a lot of young women, because I'm all about women empowerment, young women who don't think they're beautiful, who could be too fat or too skinny or too whatever, too quote unquote whatever that society tells them that they are, to F it all, because you are unique in your own way. You are beautiful in every way, not in just your own, but you are beautiful. I don't fit society's standards of beauty, but freaking honey, I like, damn, you can't tell me I'm not beautiful. And I learned that later in my adult years, and I wish I had that confidence growing up. So live your life to the fullest and do what makes you happy. Do what makes you happy. Live life with no regrets. Live life responsibly, because I still say that. Be responsible. You make adult decisions, you're gonna have to suffer adult consequences. But live life to your fullest and just love yourself. Love yourself for all of your weaknesses and all of your shortcomings, because you're unique and there's literally nobody in the world that is like you. And you, no matter what society tries to dictate about you, just know that you are just go against that grain because it doesn't matter. It's not important, really. And that's all I have to say.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say one more thing before I let you go, Irby, because I really need to say this. Stop trying to change the things about you that are unique and different, because that is what makes you beautiful, and that is what makes you interesting, and that is what makes you amazing. That's all I'm gonna say. Go ahead, Irby.
Yes, I was going to say something very similar. To piggyback off of what you both said, you are worthy. You are worthy of having joy, of having happiness, of, experiencing life, the best things in life. No matter what anybody else may say, you should get that. You deserve that. um, for a long time, I felt as if I had, coming here to America at a very young age, I've always been trying to assimilate, to figure out what other people are doing and, be more like them, fit in. It wasn't until recent years did I start to actually take the time to figure out who is Irby, and I have a little bit of regret too, like Samantha was saying, feeling like I have to play catch up. But it's now that I'm thinking about it, well, all of that made me who I am today. The good and the bad. So I guess in some ways I am grateful for all that. But take the time to love yourself, take care of yourself, and when you are able to do that, you are able to not only be your truest, most authentic, most unique self, because that's exactly like Micah said, you're exactly who you're supposed to be because that's how God created you. But then that way, when you do figure that out, you're able to give so much more to the world. You're able to really help somebody else and find themselves. And, that's the beauty of humanity, the fact that we're able to connect with other people in such a way, that makes us different from other people. But when you strip away that uniqueness, when you strip away, all these things that make you lose your humanity in some ways, don't ever lose that. And it's going to be tough. Yes, it's going to be lonely sometimes. But trust me, you are going to find people who are like-minded if you keep searching for them. There are going to be there because, like, y'all know, I always say this: God makes provisions. I believe in it wholeheartedly. There are people like us out there waiting to embrace you. Keep fighting, keep fighting, and keep loving yourself no matter what. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Whew. I love us. I love us.
And both of y'all look so sexy responding to that question, might I say.
I know, right? I know.
Ooh, I almost cried. Oh, okay.
Oh,
that got real.
Well, I love you both.
Love you too.
And I think you're both beautiful on the outside and on the inside. And I think you're both absolutely amazing, gorgeous human beings, just the way that you are.
Thank you. Thank you. And for those who are listening, I love y'all. You are loved. If you don't feel it, just know somewhere out there, Irby is loving on you. Okay?
I love you too.
Love y'all.
And Micah thinks that you a fine ass bitch and you don't need none of them niggas' attention or any of their approval. So fuck them all. Fuck them, fuck them, fuck them. You fine as hell. Shake your little ass and do your thing.
Okay, let's not even
if you want to be a hoe, just be a hoe.
Be a hoe,
but be responsible.
Be a hoe, but be.
I like responsibility.
Just safe.
Honestly, as long as you ain't hurting yourself or nobody else, do whatever the fuck makes you happy.
That's what I mean by responsible.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And if you don't want to be a hoe, that's fine. Don't be a hoe.
Shake your ass, bitch, because you're bad as hell. Bye, y'all.
How did we get here?
And remember, just take a little time to breathe.
Oh, I love the hair flip. Thank you. Bye.
Ouch, I hear